Hello, WWE fans, and welcome to the WWE Universe. And what a crazy 48 hours, or should I say, crazy weekend that we had in WWE. Probably the most craziest weekend of all. Even though, let's be honest, NXT TakeOver started it off fantastically well with the surprise appearance of Seth Rollins confronting Triple H. Now, we all thought this was going to transfer into the Royal Rumble event, but as you will see in this review / results, you'll see that it wasn't exactly what we were all hoping for. The whole Seth Rollins Triple H thing, it turns out it may very well be something for Raw instead of just Royal Rumble that we were all hoping to see. So I guess we'll just have to accept for the fact that we're not. Well, chances are we may probably see it tonight on Raw instead of the Royal Rumble itself. So, kicking things off for this Royal Rumble review, we're going to kick things off with something that I thought was probably the wrong thing for WWE to do. So basically in the kickoff show, we have, of course, we've got Shawn Michaels, we've got Jerry the King Lawler, we've got Booker T, and of course we also have the Renee Young. They were referring to the whole takeover thing when Seth Rollins invaded that show the night before. And then Stephanie McMahon comes on and declares that Seth Rollins was banned from the arena for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Which I don't understand that logic, because for all week long last week, we've been hearing this talk about Seth Rollins and Triple H confronting each other at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, or Triple H possibly entering the Royal Rumble and Seth Rollins possibly eliminating him, or somehow show up at the show and eliminate him. Well, it turns out Stephanie McMahon has tried to avoid that from happening, and the worst case scenario, Triple H wasn't even in the building. He was in the building, but he was not in the match. Therefore, what a waste of opportunity, because Triple H was basically staying behind the scenes while Seth Rollins was banned from the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on, you had potential to make this feud work at the Royal Rumble. I mean, come on. Seth Rollins hasn't even had an appearance at the Royal Rumble since 2014. When are WWE going to start realizing that Seth Rollins needs to be in this pay-per-view? He hasn't been on that show now for 2 years. When's it going to stop? Come on. WWE, let's be honest here. 2 years without Seth Rollins. Are you flipping kidding me? I mean, come on, he's a big star now. If you want star power, you should have thrown him in. You should have just got him in a match at the Royal Rumble to please the fans. But no, WWE thought, okay, let's just ban him from the building because apparently he was not meant to be at TakeOver, so we'll just ban him anyway. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand the logic of banning such a popular superstar like Seth Rollins, which he is right now, trying to ban him from the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, probably one of the first most important nights of the year. Wouldn't you want Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view? Fans wanted him. Most of the WWE fans were begging WWE to bring Seth Rollins on. And yet, what do? They just chuck him out of the building on NXT, and then Stephanie McMahon just comes out and says, oh, Seth Rollins is banned from the arena because of what happened the night before. I can't wait for Seth Rollins to get his revenge. I really can't. I can't wait for Seth Rollins to make that match official between him and Triple H. I really can't, because I swear to God, the abuse of power that Triple H has had since he's been on the office chair, even though he's made good decisions recently with the UK Championship, his abuse of power when it comes to the main roster is starting to annoy a lot of fans now. So I hope. And in fact, there's even rumors now that Triple H might retire. Well, you know, if you want to continue trying to upset fans by becoming a businessman and choosing to not let Seth Rollins compete at the Royal Rumble, then carry on. Or you might as well just don't bother being a businessman and let WWE evolve instead of trying to make it what Triple H wants. You know, yeah, I mean, I respect the guy, right? I respect Triple H's career, okay? But I don't respect the idea of him just not having Seth Rollins at a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, something that could have worked. A Seth Rollins Triple H moment at the Royal Rumble. Just think about that. That would have been probably one of the best moments in Royal Rumble history. But Triple H, again, avoiding that contact. I mean, come on. When's he going to drop the suit? When's he going to drop that suit and start taking action? You know, you're meant to be the Syringa assassin. To me, you look like the total dumbass who just sits in the back and tells people, "Oh, I do stuff for NXT. Oh, I'm the guy who created the United Kingdom Championship." How about try being Triple H, the guy I used to know, instead of this business crap guy who just sits in the back seat and doesn't bother doing anything? I mean, when am I gonna see that Triple H again? Because this Triple H sucks. I'm not gonna lie. At least I admit it. Anyway, let's focus on the matches. Sorry about that, Ryan, but I mean, you've got to admit, people, this Triple H does suck now. It's getting boring. It's been 3 years now since this business side of Triple H has evolved. We're getting bored of it. You know, just if you're gonna fight Seth Rollins, make it bloody official. Don't just hide away from Seth Rollins. Why don't you actually show up on bloody Raw and actually make it official? You know, are you actually a coward? I mean, come on, be honest here. Anyway. So, let's kick things off, shall we, with the Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. And we're going to kick things off with the 6 women's tag match, which is a SmackDown women's tag match, where we have Nikki Bella, of course, the girlfriend of John Cena. As you can probably tell from what Natalya is doing in this picture, is quite obvious she's trying to mock John Cena right off the mat. And then you also have Naomi and Becky Lynch in Nikki Bella's team, taking on the SmackDown Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, who's now become a member of SmackDown's women's division, and Natalya. Now, of course, Naomi manages to pin Alexa Bliss, which obviously indicates that we are possibly going to be getting, well, like I said, so there's a chance that Naomi may very well be getting a SmackDown Women's Championship match. But, as much as we want a one-on-one SmackDown Women's title match, how about this for a SmackDown Women's title match? All 6 of them in the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. That is a lot better than just a one-on-one match. I mean, come on, Shane, your back. Come on. If you can see it and I can see it, make it official. So, yeah, I do believe that there is a huge possibility we will probably see a match where we see Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, and Natalya to battle in the very first Women's Elimination Chamber match. And I do believe that's probably going to happen at Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks. So don't look surprised if that's one of the big surprises that SmackDown might offer this coming tomorrow night on tomorrow night's SmackDown Live. Because chances are it'll probably happen. So, But then at the same time, it could be Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. But I'm hoping for the first ever women's Elimination Chamber match. That would be amazing if they did that. But yeah, so Naomi picks up the win for her team with Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch looking strong, which I know some people would think that Mickie James' team should have won because, you know, she's only just come back and they should be getting momentum heading into Elimination Chamber. And I can understand that because, you know, Mickie James hasn't won a match since she's come back to WWE. So, I mean, at some point she's going to win. But because there's now rumors of a Nikki Bella versus Mickie James match, I would assume that Mickie James is going to target Nikki Bella at some point soon, and this is going to lead into their one-on-one match at WrestleMania. If the rumors are correct, that's how the match will evolve, hopefully, is a Mickie James, Nikki Bella match, which will be sort of the old women's revolution versus the new women's revolution. So, you know, because Nikki Bella is responsible for this new women's revolution, and then you have Mickie James, who was one of the old women's revolution competitors who believed that she was changing the way women were representing in WWE back in her time in WWE before. So this would make up a good match. I'm not going to lie, it would be a great match. So yeah, that's the six women tag match during the kickoff show. Naomi, Nikki Bella, and Becky Lynch leaving victorious. And then we have Raw's Tag Team Championship match where Cesaro and Sheamus will take on the Club in their first title defense since winning, well, their second title defense, in fact, since winning the titles back at Roadblock when they ended the New Day's record. But obviously it turned out that it wasn't the case for them, because it turns out that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson would then end up beating Cesaro and Sheamus to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions, which means the Club are now the top tag team on Raw, which is not bad for them. They've certainly earned their way into the tag team title picture. Now, of course, for Cesaro and Sheamus, it does, even though that they were responsible for putting an end to the New Day's tag title reign, at least Cesaro and Sheamus will probably go their separate ways, I think, heading into WrestleMania. Probably take part in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, maybe get another title shot at WrestleMania, probably for the tag titles. We're not too sure where they will be ending up at WrestleMania, but I'm guessing there'll probably be something for them to do at WrestleMania when we get there. And then, of course, we have our next women's match, which is Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Now, a lot of people were hoping for Sasha Banks to leave victorious at the Royal Rumble, especially in this match, because this is her first battle since getting injured with one of her knees got injured since the last pay-per-view that Sasha participated in. Well, obviously it wasn't exactly what she was hoping for, because Sasha Banks was unable to beat Nia Jax because Nia Jax looked strong after their battle during the kickoff show. And also, I'm a bit, and I know this is not WWE's fault, but why? I mean, obviously we have nothing to worry about, but I don't quite understand why Sasha Banks was on the kickoff show when she's a very popular women's competitor on Raw. You would think she would be on the main show against Nia Jax, but I just think it was a bit weird how Sasha Banks was being kept from the main show and was put on the kickoff show this particular evening, which I don't quite understand that. So I guess something good, better is going to hopefully happen for Sasha Banks. I'm not too sure, but I didn't quite understand why Sasha Banks was on the kickoff show when particularly I was expecting her to be on the main show, but I guess we'll accept that for now, I guess. So, yeah, Sasha Banks unable to defeat Nia Jax. So, yeah, I hope somehow Sasha Banks will get that momentum back, and maybe we'll end up with that fatal four-way Raw's women's title match that has been heavily rumored. Sasha versus Nia Jax versus Bayley versus Charlotte. I wouldn't mind seeing that at WrestleMania, so maybe this could be the start of the developments of those 4 Raw women battling for the Raw's women's title. I wouldn't mind seeing that happening at WrestleMania. And then speaking of Raw's women's title, we obviously Shawn Michaels kicks off the show with, as Shawn Michaels normally would do, as it's his hometown. He's on fire. You know, we all know HBK. We all know what HBK is good at when it comes to opening the show, because Shawn Michaels has done it many times in his career. So no introduction there. But we move over to Raw's women's title match, where Charlotte versus Bayley, and this was something that a lot of WWE fans have noticed, is that you notice that on this picture, in fact, you'll notice that one of Charlotte's hands had been tied up. Now, I'm not too sure what happened there, whether something happened behind the scenes, or because I'm pretty sure she didn't have a tape on her hand during Monday Night Raw. So I find that very interesting that she's had her thing tied up at this event. I don't know whether something happened behind the scenes and she injured her arm or hand or something, but I thought that was pretty interesting to take note of, because we never seen that happen before. Then but however, though, Bayley was unable to win the championship. Even though she came very close to winning, Charlotte would somehow succeed, and she would leave Royal Rumble still the Raw Women's Champion. But I have no doubt that Bayley will become Raw's Women's Champion by probably at WrestleMania, because we all know Bayley's bound to win the title this year, and I just think WrestleMania would be the time and the place for Bayley to finally win the title. So yeah, Bayley's bound to win it at WrestleMania. I'm calling it now. Bayley will become Raw's Women's Champion at WrestleMania. She'll defeat Charlotte finally. She may win it in a fatal four-way match, as I said before, and if she does, then that's a bigger obstacle for her to win. And yeah, I think we're going to be in for a big moment for Bayley at WrestleMania in Orlando. I think a lot of fans will be happy if Bayley won the title in Orlando. So, yeah, I have high hopes for Bayley to win the championship at WrestleMania. I just hope WWE don't F up this opportunity. So, yeah, fingers crossed Bayley will get her moment at WrestleMania, I'm hoping. And then, quite strangely, the second match of the main show ends up being the Universal title match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, interestingly enough. Now, what was very interesting, I was a bit surprised myself that this wasn't one of the later matches, because I thought the Cruiserweight title was going to follow this Raw's women's title match, but the fact that they followed up with the Universal title was something of an interest. Even though Roman Reigns looked like he was going to win the championship, who would show up by the nick of time? Braun Strowman would show up, and he would attack Roman Reigns to the point that Kevin Owens would take the advantage of the beating and manages to win the Universal Championship thanks to Braun Strowman. Therefore, Roman Reigns will not become Universal Champion at the end of the Royal Rumble. So obviously, it looks like Kevin Owens might very well be headlining WrestleMania Universal Champion. But that all depends, though, who Kevin Owens faces at Fastlane, because of all the rumors of Goldberg possibly having the main event at Fastlane. Would it be Kevin Owens versus Goldberg at Fastlane? I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. So, well, I'll be surprised if it wasn't Goldberg versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title, but I'm willing to bet we are going to probably see a Kevin Owens versus Goldberg match at Fastlane for the title, probably the night that Goldberg wins the title off Owens, which chances are it's probably going to lead that way. So we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, Kevin Owens looking strong at the Royal Rumble, beating Roman Reigns, the superstar that most people hate when it comes to fans. A lot of fans hate Roman Reigns, a lot of fans. And then you have Neville battling for the Cruiserweight title against Rick Swann, and I think it was kind of a given Neville was going to come back and win the Cruiserweight title. Exactly what they said, because you know what? Neville would come back, do his Red Arrow, and become officially known the new Cruiserweight champion at the Royal Rumble, which is exactly what fans were hoping for, Neville to win the Cruiserweight title. Well, guess what? Neville's now Cruiserweight champion, so good for Neville. He finally does it. And then eventually we have probably what is being considered the best match of the Royal Rumble. John Cena, AJ Styles, WWE Championship match. This is the match that, of course, this is a match that Cena was determined to win, determined to beat AJ Styles in their third encounter on pay-per-view. Now, obviously, it went backwards and forwards. Lots of incredible moments in this match, particularly the way that AJ Styles would not surrender, somehow try to counter every move Cena did. But however, though, after two attitude adjustments, John Cena would finally make history. Yes, the history-making moment for Cena had finally arrived. After quite a few years, John Cena would finally become a 16-time World's Champion at the Royal Rumble. Now, most fans, I'm going to be honest here, most WWE fans would not be pleased to see John Cena win the title, but interestingly enough, during the match, there was a lot of hints towards John Cena's heel turn. So maybe we will see a heel Cena probably emerge at Elimination Chamber. Maybe that will be the day the heel turn will start taking full effect in John Cena. But yeah, big up for Cena for finally winning his 16 World's title reign, tying with Nature Boy Ric Flair. And now John Cena is going to be on the record books as the second man in history to be a 16-time World's Champion, which means, well, it's kind of a given that John Cena was going to defeat AJ Styles at some point, and I think the Royal Rumble was going to be one of the big pay-per-views that John Cena was going to become a 16-time World's Champion, and it looks like WWE had determined that John Cena would win the WWE World's title. So, yeah, that's big moment for Cena, finally leaving San Antonio a 16-time World's Champion. And then, of course, we have the main event of the Royal Rumble, the 30 Superstar Royal Rumble match. So, this is where the interesting stuff starts happening when it comes to the Royal Rumble. So let's go through order. The order of entries in the Royal Rumble match. Okay, so these are the order of entries as the Royal Rumble commenced. So the first two superstars in the Royal Rumble, we had Big Cass and Chris Jericho entering in the first two numbers of the Royal Rumble. Obviously, Big Cass was number 1, Jericho was number 2. And then number 3, we had Kalisto being the third man in the Royal Rumble. Then number 4, we had Mojo Rawley entering number 4. The fifth entry was Jack Gallows, one of the cruiserweights. Number 6, we had Mark Henry. Like I said, Mark Henry would enter at number 6. And then at number 7 was the powerful Braun Strowman, who had eliminated who has eliminated quite a lot of men in the Royal Rumble. And then entry number 8 was Sami Zayn. And then we had entry number 9, The Big Show. Entry number 10, and I think this was kind of a given, it was going to happen. Entry number 10, Tal Dillinger, the perfect 10, finally entered at number 10. 10, 10, 10. You get the picture. Now at number 11, we have James Ellsworth finally enters the Royal Rumble at entry number 11. Entry number 12, we had Dean Ambrose. Entry number 13, Baron Corbin. Entry number 15, Kofi Kingston. Entry number 15, The Miz. Entry 16, Sheamus. Entry 17, Big E. Entry 18, Rusev with a bandage on his face, which I think he had a broken face or something, or a broken nose. I don't know what happened. Entry number 19, Cesaro. Entry number 20, Xavier Woods. Entry 21, Bray Wyatt. Entry 22, Apollo Crews. Entry 23, Randy Orton. Entry 24, Dolph Ziggler. Entry 25, Luke Harper. Entry 26, The Beast, Brock Lesnar. Entry 27, Enzo Amore. Entry to number 28 is Goldberg, Bill Goldberg, in fact. Entry number 29, The Undertaker, the Phenom. And entry 30, which we were all hoping it was going to be a big surprise, it ends up being Roman flipping Reigns. Not really what the fans were hoping for, were they? And in fact, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Most of the people in this Royal Rumble match, there was no surprise entries except for Tal Dillinger, who is the only guy who entered the Royal Rumble at number 10. Yes. So particularly no surprise entries in the Royal Rumble. But however, though, we did have some surprise moments in the Royal Rumble. Baron Corbin alongside Dean Ambrose and Sami Zayn was able to eliminate Braun Strowman. And then also we saw a bit of a shocker when Goldberg got eliminated by Brock Lesnar almost immediately after he entered the ring, which was absolutely insane. The fact that Brock Lesnar was eliminated so quickly by Goldberg. Not only that, The Undertaker does the same to Goldberg, literally eliminates him in a matter of minutes, which I was literally stunned. The fact that Goldberg, Lesnar, and Undertaker were eliminated in a matter of minutes. But another huge shocker. Roman Reigns eliminates The Undertaker. Now, just think about this for a minute. Roman Reigns eliminates The Undertaker. Now, doesn't that ring the bell to recent rumors we've been hearing? An Undertaker-Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania? I think it's quite a given that what's going to probably happen tonight on Raw is most likely along the terms of Undertaker gets revenge on Roman flipping Reigns. I don't blame you, Undertaker. This is your chance to make a statement for WrestleMania. You want Roman Reigns? You go and get Roman Reigns. Because that's what The Undertaker is going to probably do on tonight's flipping Raw. So, yeah, don't look surprised if The Undertaker is going to somehow destroy Roman Reigns, maybe even tombstone him on Monday Night Raw. Because chances are we are looking towards a Roman Reigns versus Undertaker match at WrestleMania, and I think it's bound to happen. Now, as concerns of Goldberg, I think there's most likely chance that we will see a Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar match probably at WrestleMania. We will definitely see a rematch between Goldberg and Lesnar now that Goldberg had eliminated Lesnar in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I think there's a chance that we will definitely see Goldberg versus Lesnar once again at WrestleMania. So don't look too surprised. That rematch is most likely going to happen. But however, The winner of the Royal Rumble, after all 30 men had entered, was the Viper himself. Randy Orton had finally won his second Royal Rumble match, which means that at WrestleMania 30, Randy Orton will compete for the WWE World Championship, which is kind of something that we haven't seen in about nearly 2 years. We haven't seen Randy Orton main event WrestleMania, but I know some people are a bit iffy about the fact that Randy Orton had won his second Royal Rumble, even though they were expecting somebody else to win it, like somebody new. Well, I don't mind Randy Orton. I don't mind Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I don't mind seeing another Randy Orton moment at WrestleMania. So why not? A Randy Orton main event match sounds about right to me. At the moment, though, WWE have highlighted for WrestleMania 33 at this time the match between Randy Orton and, well, the match that they've highlighted for WrestleMania this year as a main event. We have John Cena, Randy Orton for the WWE World's title. Now, the question is, will we see Randy Orton versus versus John Cena at WrestleMania? I think there's a good chance that won't be the main event of WrestleMania. I really don't think it will be. I think what's going to happen is that Bray Wyatt is probably going to win the title in the Elimination Chamber match, and we're going to see a Randy Orton facing WWE Champion Bray Wyatt. That's what I think is what we're leading to. But chances are, there is a good chance WWE might use John Cena versus Randy Orton one-on-one at WrestleMania to pass the torch from John Cena to Randy Orton. Perhaps this is a chance for Cena to have their long overdue one-on-one match between Orton and Cena. Perhaps this is what WWE want to try and do, capitalize on the ending of their rivalry to take place at WrestleMania. I don't know, but interestingly enough, we'll have to wait and see. But the fact of the matter is, I can't wait to see who exactly will face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, whether it will be John Cena, whether it will be Bray Wyatt. Who knows who will win at the Elimination Chamber to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania. The fact of the matter is, Randy Orton's going to WrestleMania, and someone will be champion when we get to WrestleMania, and they will defend the title against Randy Orton. Whether that's John Cena, AJ Styles, I don't think it will be AJ Styles, but it'll probably end up being John Cena, maybe Bray Wyatt, maybe even Dolph Ziggler. So whoever that will be, it all comes down to who wins the Elimination Chamber match. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this very detailed and very long Royal Rumble review. I know it's been quite a long one, but I have to admit, there is a chance that John Cena and Randy Orton will probably bring back their iconical rivalry at WrestleMania. I know some fans don't like that idea, but I wouldn't mind seeing one more chapter to John Cena and Randy Orton, even though some fans would probably disagree on that idea. But hey-ho, I wouldn't mind seeing that one-on-one match that we haven't had yet at WrestleMania between Cena and Randy Orton. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. Who knows? But with that said, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Royal Rumble. And let me know if you enjoyed the Royal Rumble by commenting down below. And of course, the next pay-per-view we'll be discussing will be the Elimination Chamber, which is 2 weeks from now. And then we have Fastlane at the end of the month in February, which will be, well, in March, in fact. March the 5th is when they'll be having Raw's Fastlane, which will be the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So with that said, thanks for watching. And I'll see you all in the next pay-per-view review for SmackDown's Elimination Chamber. See you then.